Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. Abu Hafs Abdul Malik Claire, which all again. Busy weekend, so I want to talk a little bit about that. Also mention the sponsor is islambytouch.com. Please go there. islambytouch.com. MICKEYMOU. No, that's a different thing. Anyway, Islam by Touch is a Braille organization built by and led by blind people. There are sighted people who work with Islam by Touch, but the main two people are either legally blind or totally blind. So this is not just a project off of another bigger organization. These brothers and sisters are working very, very hard at promoting Braille literacy in the blind community, especially when it comes to the English translation of the Quran. So please support that. Please share the links, share all the social media stuff. islambytouch.com, facebook.com/islambytouch, Twitter @islambytouch. All these Islam by Touch, you know what I mean? So reach out, inshallah, and touch Islam by Touch. Sharing Islam one dot at a time. I went to the nation's capital this weekend, Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, for Deen Support Services, and it was, mashallah, it was a nice program. May Allah bless them and keep the organization strong. I'm not sure how they did, because I basically did my thing and left because I had a 5-hour road trip to go back to. So we traveled 5 hours to get there and traveled close to 5 hours, whatever it was, to get home again. So it was a very, very long day. So may Allah bless them. But I wanted to share with you an ayah about the cure for racism. The literal cure, if you want to take it, for racism. Allah has said to us after we say, أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم يا أيها الناس. That's, O people, O mankind, Ya أيها الناس. That's every one of us. That's every one of us. إِنَّا خَلَقْنَاكُم مِّن ذَكَرٍ وَأُنثَى. That for sure Allah has created us from a male and a female. So we come from a man and a woman. So it takes two to make us, which shows you gender equity as well. You know, a male and a female. Allah made us from male and a female. Now there are certain exceptions. Of course, Adam alayhi salatu wasalam didn't have no father and no mother. Eve didn't have no mother. Jesus, the son of Mary, didn't have no father. And you and I come from a man and a woman. So we are the norm, as it were. إِنَّا خَلَقْنَاكُم مِّن ذَكَرٍ وَأُنثَى وَجَعَلْنَاكُمْ شُعُوبًا وَقَبَائِلَ لِتَعَارَفُوا. And He made us, not only did He make us from a male and a female, but He made us from nations and tribes so that we might know each other. So we're not supposed to really be divided like that culturally. We're not supposed to be divided. We're not supposed to be ignorant of each other. We're supposed to know each other. But this is the litmus test right here. إِنَّ أَكْرَمَكُمْ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ أَتْقَاكُمْ. That the best of us, even if we know each other, the best of us. And you might like some things about some people, and you might not like some things about other people, and that's okay. But the best of us, إِنَّ أَكْرَمَكُمْ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ أَتْقَاكُمْ. The best of us in the sight of Allah are the ones that are conscious of Allah the most. Now this is unmeasurable by the human standard. You can't know that. You cannot know how God conscious someone is, how righteous someone is. You can know how righteous they look. Someone grows a big beard and wears a bunch of stuff and wears a headscarf and a face veil and all of that stuff. And I've been ripped off by people who got beards. I've been ripped off by imams in masjids. So you can never know how righteous somebody is. You will never know. Somebody might seem righteous and they might look the part, but they might be as wicked as the day is long. And then other people, they may not wear all of that stuff. They might be just kind of trying to do what they're supposed to do, and they might not have all the outer appearance, but that person might be more righteous than any people that you know. Might be more righteous than you yourself. إِنَّ أَكْرَمَكُمْ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ أَتْقَاكُمْ. So all this racial color superiority and all this nonsensical things that... It's interesting because as a blind person, I never really understood all of that. Like, I'm listening to people tell me that black folks are different than white folks. And it's mainly white folks that talk like that to me, by the way. Growing up, it was mainly white people that talked to me like that. You shouldn't hang out with those people. They're black. And I don't even know what black is. I never knew what it was. I never knew it, never saw it, never understood the concept of being black. What does it mean to be black? What does it mean to be white? What does it mean to be brown? What does it mean to be whatever? I never understood that as a color, in the color sense of the word. All I knew was these people who everyone's telling me that they're black. The white folks tell me these kids are black, treated me like a brother. That's all I knew. So I'm going to be where I feel love from. That's where I'm going to be, whether they're black people, whether they're not. It so happened to be that they were black when I was a kid. They took me in. They treated me well. They treated me like one of their own, like a brother. They never talked about my eyesight. It was, I mean, we joked about it, of course, obviously. But it never was really an issue for them. So I stayed with them, and I loved them. Just like they love me right back. So explaining racism to a blind kid will show you how stupid racism is. Will absolutely show you how stupid the concept of racism is. If you think your concept of racism makes sense, try to explain it to a blind person. Try. I dare you. And if you can do that, and that blind person goes, that makes sense, then he's just as stupid as you are. Really. Because there are blind racists, and there are, and I've known some over the years, and they're just as stupid as the sighted racists that they get their information from. Because you can't be blind and be a racist, not really, because you don't even know what color looks like. You'd be looking at a person going, are they black? Are they black? And then someone says, yeah, they're black, and then you all of a sudden have an opinion. Like, blind people can be racist, and that just means that stupidity is not discriminatory. Stupidity is everywhere. So in Islam, we don't have that. You get to know people. You get to learn about their cultures, about their languages, about their foods. And if you honestly, like, if you go to people and learn about their food especially, you're going to have a lot of fun generally. You might have stuff you don't like, and you might see things you don't like. But I'm sure you're going to find something you like. And if you sit with people and you get to know them, you realize that we're not really different like that. Not really. You know, as Muslims especially, you can sit with, and I've worked with Africans, of course. I'm married to African. I speak Swahili and I speak Arabic to a certain degree. And I've lived in Africa, and I've sat with people of different tribes and different nations. And people like to think that Africans are all the same, and they're not. They're far from it. I've sat with Malaysians, and I love them. I sat with Pakistanis and Indians, and I love them. I sat with Arabs, and I love them. I sat with everybody. South Americans, too. White folks, black folks, everybody. My heart is more drawn towards African Americans and African Canadians, but that doesn't mean I don't like anybody else. So, Latinos, I've sat with them. It's you just learn how to deal with people and how to meet people, and it makes you more worldly, because Allah gave us the literal cure for racism. Because if you judge people, then let Allah judge their piety and leave them alone otherwise. Learn from them, get to know them. You'll see some good and you'll see some bad. Now, there is another thing that I want to say as well about this. Having a preference of who you marry doesn't make you a racist, by the way. And I hear this all the time, and I don't like it when I hear that. If her preference is to marry a black brother, that doesn't make her a racist against her own people if she's not black. That's silly and stupid. Preference doesn't make you a racist. Hatred makes you a racist. Now, if she says, I prefer to marry a black man, that's cool. But if she says, I hate white men, therefore I want to marry a black man. Now, her marrying a black man isn't a problem, but her hating another race is a problem. That's where the problem comes in. So if you have a personal preference for who you like to marry, whether it be black, white, brown, whatever, that doesn't make you a racist. Please don't ever listen to people who think that it does. It does not. If you wish to marry your own people, that doesn't make you a racist at all. So please don't. I mean, you don't need me to tell you that, but it's true. Now, if you dislike someone because they are different than you, then that's prejudice. That's a prejudice thing. Racism actually isn't the right word that I should be using, because racism it's more defined by laws and how you can, like, the prejudiced person can tell you to go back to your country, but the racist can actually make laws preventing you from entering said country. So they're a bit different. So they're not the same, and I should probably be using the word prejudice, because most of us really don't have racial power like that. You don't have a lot of racial power where you can actually change laws to make your country, a certain race of people. So the word I should be using, and I need to correct myself, is prejudice. because, you know, we can be prejudiced, but most of us cannot be racist like that, really, because you don't have power to do anything about it. You can call somebody some names and dislike them, but as a racist, racists have laws. Racists are the people that can make laws defining where you live and where you work. That's a whole different level. So we should avoid that, because Shaitan was the very first one to be prejudiced. Iblis, when Allah ordered him to bow to Adam, and he said, "Ana khayra min khalaqtahu min nar wa khalaqtani min tin." Sorry, khalaqtani min nar wa khalaqtahu min tin. He said, I'm better than him. You made me from fire and you made him from clay. So when you're being that, when you have this kind of prejudice, you are imitating him. Iblis, la'natullah alayhi, shaitan. So we need to reevaluate ourselves as to where we stand with other people. How can we sit with them? How can we get to know them? Learn their languages, learn their dialects, learn their culture. You don't have to agree with it. No one. This is another thing too. People think that because you sit with someone and listen to them, it automatically means you gotta have to agree or oppose. Something, just listen. Just listen. It's all interesting. Interesting. You don't have to argue with them. You don't have to agree. It's interesting. And just sit there and listen. Sometimes it's good to do that. You learn that way. And then the more you listen, the more they teach you, and the more you learn. You don't have to agree. Just sit and get to know each other. يا أيها الناس إنا خلقناكم من ذكر وأنثى وجعلناكم شعوبا وقبائل لتعارفوا إن أكرمكم عند الله أتقاكم إن الله عليم خبير. And Allah is all-knowing and all-aware. So please, guys, get to know each other. Go and learn from people. Sit with them, listen to them. You may see some good and you may see other than that. But I think generally, inshallah, you're going to see good people, with some exceptions. I'm Abdul Malik Claire. Visit the sponsors, islambytouch.com, and like, share, subscribe, click that little bell so you get notifications as to when I'm going to go on these little rants. Tomorrow, I'm going to try to share some Quran recitations with you. Different voice styles that I have and why I have them. That's my next video, inshallah. Until then, take care, stay blessed. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
Text, zip preview, stop video, but press stop video button. Stop video button.
Let's do this.